So my name's Barak. I've been with Google nearly 2 years, and I've been managing this region, part of the subset of our emerging markets business. And South Africa is by far our biggest and most proud country in terms of our establishment of cloud infrastructure as well as cloud assets and customers. And I'm very happy to have this workshop with you. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy it today, because what we're doing here is everything live. We cannot speak about cloud and not show what cloud is, right? It's like crazy thing, you know, talking about movie but not showing the movie. So that's what we want to show you. Everything you're going to see here today is live. This is how bold we are in terms of trying to present our infrastructure. And you know, all of you who have been into IT and have been through demos, you know how risky the demo world is. So I think that what's good about this, that we're taking the risk on us, and we're very confident that we will not fail. Even though the internet might be shaky in this place, we will show you how lean, shaky, huh? That's a good word, right? It sucks. Don't tell anybody, but I'm talking about the internet, but we manage, and it just shows you how much you can achieve already, even if the bandwidth is not that big. So everything you're going to see here today is live. Even the presentation we're presenting you, it's all done on Google Docs, on our Presently, and I just want to have a few minutes, to start off in presenting what Google is about. But before so, because it's the end of the day, we have to do some trivia questions, right, to wake you up, so we make sure that everybody's interactive. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Some of them you might have heard already, because Abdel did a good job in his presentation, if any of you were in the enterprise track. So I'm going to ask this. First question, and any Googlers in the audience are not allowed to answer. How much video is uploaded to YouTube every minute?
72 hours.
You're good listeners. But we'll see at the end if it's true. How large is Google's caffeine search index? So let me explain to you that question. Just the word caffeine. Caffeine, right? Coffee, caffeine. Google search. The index we have in our backend systems. Can anybody here even estimate or guess what the size, the actual size of that? How much?
2 billion.
2 billion what? Megabytes? What?
Results.
No, we're not talking about actual results. How big, the storage we have to maintain in our backend systems just to index the world caffeine. Is it 1 megabyte, 1 gig?
2 terabytes.
Two. Do I have a 3?
Terabyte.
Tera.
Kilobytes.
Kilobyte.
Yes.
That's it. I love you. We'll get to that in a minute. Answer at the end. How many active Gmail users does Google serve? Active means not registered. Active, guess? Do I have a 1 million?
2 million.
2 million worldwide, not South Africa, worldwide. 2 million Gmail users.
1 billion.
$1 billion. That's Austin Powers, huh? $1 billion. We'll get to the answer in a short. But it's good to hear those results, because it just shows you how much discrepancy there is. And again, it's the same goes with the word of the cloud, because a lot of us don't really sometimes understand the magnitude of it. And last question for today. How long does it take Google to respond to a search query on average? 2 seconds. I have. Does anyone? 0.02. You're a good candidate for our Chromebook prize. How did we get here? Hold on. Sorry. I did some changes in my. So. Work in the future today, that's the theme that we've been discussing. And again, I see that some of you were in our presentation of Abdel, and he went into a little bit more details in it. You can see here a little bit faded logos, and that's other products that and I'm introducing Google. Google Enterprise is that part of Google that commercializes our internal technology and provides it for enterprises for their own use. It's the basic concept of taking the magic of the consumer solutions we've introduced, like Gmail or anything, and wrap it up what we call an enterprise flavor. And remember, whenever Google does something, it's always on its own global shared infrastructure. We don't have to set up any dedicated data servers or infrastructure just to service a specific set of tools. So we utilize our own infrastructure to do everything. And one of the things is, when we talk about these, we just take the same product you and I know as consumers and we give it 4 key things. We give it an SLA, we give it 24/7 support, we give it a privacy and security, call it agreement, very important for the enterprise. And last but not least, we give it the enterprise capabilities. It's the same product, but obviously anybody of you who's going to be deploying Google Apps within its domain is going to tell me one of the first things, please integrate to my LDAP system, right? My Windows Active Directory or whatever, and we'll say, okay, no problem, we have the tools to do that. Because we still rely on on-premise infrastructure and we understand that we need to coexist with that. So Google Enterprise, and today we're really focusing on the holy grail of our product, which is Google Apps, but it has also our search capabilities for the enterprise, our geospatial solutions, our platform offering, and our devices. But today, these are the 5 areas that Google Enterprise deals with, but today we're going to be focusing on Google Apps. For those of you who missed out on Abdel's session, this is just like a show-off slide. Of course, we're doing sales, so we have to show off a little bit, but Grove will do some more localized case studies and tell you a little bit more stories about local customers adopting us, but these are some of the big brands worldwide that have been adopting our solution, Google Apps specifically. And the level of adoption is just amazing. We've reached the 4 million active corporations, business customers, not end users, using this. We have an amazing pace of 5,000 signups a day. So if any of you listen to my presentation a year from now, I need to update my, right, if the statistics right, I will need to tell you that we already have 5.5 million businesses using our platform. And a business can be a law firm with 50 users, and it can be BBVA, the second largest bank in the Latin world with 120,000 users, migrating its entire assets from IBM Lotus nodes after evaluating us against Microsoft. So that's just a little bit the power of what our solution offering is. So just remember, Google Enterprise is that part of Google that provides you with those IT solutions, usually 100% cloud-based. I know there's all kinds of terminology, so I'll set it out clear. Whenever I hear the word private cloud, I get a little bit goosebumps. We're 100% public cloud. So just remember that when you ask this question, because we do it, and that's amazing because you use it on our shared infrastructure. Now let me explain why I gave you those questions. The questions about YouTube and caffeine and all that, nothing to do with enterprise. The only thing it has to do with enterprise that all our products run on that same infrastructure. So that's how much scalability and availability you're going to get. Our solutions for you as an enterprise are going to be as available as our search service is going to be available for you as a consumer. And that's why we like to show you. And I can ask another question which will just blow you away, but I don't put it on. Does anybody can guess? You know what, instead of a question, I'll tell you it out loud. Google is the 4th largest server manufacturer in the world after IBM, Dell, and HP. 4th largest, and guess what? We don't sell our hardware. Why? We build our own infrastructure. We've built a dedicated cloud-based infrastructure designed by design to serve the web. That's how we were born. Guys, Google is only 13 years old, so we had that magic wand in our hand. We started setting up our infrastructure in the beginning, and we saw that if we want to reach where we want to go in terms of scalability and doing what we want to do, and that's making all the world information available and accessible for every consumer, it has to be differently. So in 1999, we literally took the magic wand that every CIO in this room would love to have in his hand as well, because every CIO in an enterprise is usually not the first CIO, right? He had a predecessor who had a predecessor who had a predecessor who had a predecessor, and it keeps on, and you're stuck with some technology that you as a new CIO would love to get rid of. So we had that option in 1999, and that's what we did. We decided to do everything from scratch to bottom, and that's why Google is so scalable in our performance. So now, to the answers in time that, and concluding. How much video is uploaded? So, oh, I was too quick. Help me out here. So we said 72 hours, which is the correct answer. I didn't update my answer, but 60 hours. Just to give you a glimpse, this was the data a quarter ago. Shows you what's going on. 60 hours was our data 3 months ago. And it's scary. If you look at more and more users uploading, 60 hours a minute, okay? A minute. Do the multiplication an hour, and every day in YouTube, there's loaded more content than what's produced a year in Hollywood and Bollywood combined. A day. So just think about the magnitude of that.
Especially Bollywood.
How large is Google Caffeine? I heard a kilobyte, I heard a megabyte, so this will blow you away. It's 1 million, or let's call it 100 petabytes. I don't know what a petabyte is. I know what it is, but you cannot even imagine. It's like $1 billion or $100 billion. It's so big, that's just one word. So you can start thinking, how big is our total index? We don't really say that, but start thinking if only one word, caffeine, is 100 petabytes, what's the size of our total index? Scary. How many active Gmail users does Google serve? The answer is 350 million active users. Active, so not registered. The number of registered is way higher, and this is growing and climbing. This is the most popular webmail infrastructure in the world. And last but not least, how long does it take Google to respond? I heard answer, I think that was correct, and the average is 250 milliseconds. That's the average response. So when you buy into our cloud infrastructure, that's what you get, guys. Thank you. And we'll be around here as part of the workshop, and I hope that we get some good questions from you guys.
Thank you, Barak. He's always a difficult act to follow. Not as good as me. Philip Witheridge, CEO of Grove Group. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes talking about how we fit into the Google ecosystem and what has brought us on this journey to be here today, and I'll be followed by Lou and Mike, who's going to demonstrate some of the solutions, apps, GeoSearch, and Chromebook, as we now all know what a Chromebook is. Grove has been a partner of Google since 2005. We're their only premier partner in Africa. There's a lot of data on that slide, produced by marketing, obviously, so it's very pretty. But it's meant to illustrate that we're growing incredibly quickly. We're signing up about 100 new customers a month at the moment. Our numbers a quarter ago was about 80, so we're also growing quickly. But also what's happening is the speed of the sale is increasing. And that's from large customers. Our largest is 120,000 on a slightly different Google solution, not BBVA, and our smallest is one user across all sorts of industries. What's got us there, and this is what we all hear about, we're all talking about the cloud, and we've all got a different interpretation of the cloud, but for us it's really what's driving it, and it's these guys. Young people shouting, students who are leaving college, leaving university, and coming into organisations with far better technology than the CIO's predecessor could afford or knew how to implement. And they're saying, well, I've got 25 megabytes on my Outlook, I get 25 gig on Gmail at university, can't I have that in the office? And they're the ones that are pushing this new wave. Of course, it's been dragged by some of the older generation who are also seeing what's going on. But actually there's the younger generation, but there's also three massive changes happening in the IT space, which it's unusual to have three huge changes happening all at the same time. And you can have big debates as to whether they are happening at the same time and which came first, the chicken and the egg. But the three things from our perspective that are driving massive changes are the cloud in all its different guises, social, that's meant to indicate social, and Google Plus is one of the solutions that can fit in there, but we all know about Facebook. Did any of us get some shares on Friday? No. It's gone back because it's a crap solution and the price has plummeted. And the third one is mobile. And that speaks to very much the any time, any place, any device, anywhere. It's about social, it's about interaction, it's about cloud, and it's about mobility. And we really believe that the Google suite, if you're moving into the cloud, for us, for our customers, it's about helping you define the strategy, getting the solutions, the platforms in place, and then growing with you as you develop. But the anchor for us to start your cloud journey is the Google suite. We've got lots of customers. There's a selection of our South African ones, Chelsea, ICAT, Netcare, Land Rover, all sorts of different customers across Africa. Again, very large, very small, different industries, different verticals, different solutions that they're buying from us, serviced by our team of 60 people globally, 45 of which in Cape Town with a 24/7 support hub. So we're there to help you, we're there to support you, and we'll be with you on your journey. We're now going to go on to the really scary thing, which is the live demo. This is all live, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah, this is all live. Thanks a lot.
So how's everyone doing? Death by PowerPoint? Death by Google presentations? So how many people here are in telco land? And raise your hands. And in businesses? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're just trying to gauge the audience. So I'm Michael Soup, and that's Louis over there. We're engineers, so please excuse us if we get too excited about boring things, but that's what engineers do. We get really excited about these things. So hopefully we can translate some of the cloud fluffy sales speak and make it kind of tangible and practical for you to see and touch and feel. So what we're going to do today is we're going to demo Google Apps, have a brief look at Google Search and Geo, and kind of show some of the tools in the tool set that Google provides us. So, we at Grove are really excited about helping businesses and telcos, etc., utilize cloud services. So, like Pippin then said, we are live, so I'm connecting this laptop via my iPhone over 3G, thanks MTN. Anyone from MTN here? 3G is quite good, thanks. Louis is connecting his laptop via Celsi. Yeah. Anyone from Celsi? Thanks, Celsi. We'll do a download test just now. We'll race it out. So it's totally live. Our devices are connecting to the Google Cloud, so we connect over the internet into Google's infrastructure, and all these slides and presentations aren't on our laptops, they're on the web, as is the email and the documents and other things that we're going to flick through today. Cool, so before we do anything else, I'm going to hand out a Chromebook to pass around. If you can just have a look at it. One cool thing about the Chromebook is the 9-second boot time. What did you call it, the rack? A web top. Web top. Cool. So it's quite a cool term. So have a look at our web top. They're about 4,000 rand. The Chromebooks, $400.
Yeah,
$350. Yeah, they're fairly new. Yeah. It'll come down. Alright, do you want to say something?
That's the Chromebook, which is coming around, which is a web top, as you now know. 9 seconds boot, web only, administers through a console that the IT admins can administer, so you can track the GPS device. You can see where all your Chromebooks are. If one goes missing, you can brick it so that no one can ever use it. So if you do steal it, you've just got a nice what's coming out in the next few months is the Chrome box, which is a little box you stick on a desk. It's about that size, little that, and you shove in your PC and your keyboard, which means, and as it's only web, you've never got to replace your screen or keyboard because you just keep typing. So it's very, very powerful, but we'll see how that works.
Cool. So to set the stage, That's Louis. He's on the top floor of Google Retail Acme Incorporated. He's really cool. Got blonde hair, attractive. And I'm down on the bottom floor, a lowly worker. And we're going to be kind of acting out, working in the new world and working in the old world. So I'm going to be working in the past, and Louis is going to be working in the future. And we're going to go through the various apps and demo that to you. So Louis, to you. Louis comes in on a Monday morning to grow Retail Acme Incorporated.
So we're positioning this as if we're in the same building, but it might as well be two separate buildings or two separate cities or two separate countries. It's irrelevant. We're just two users anywhere on the planet connecting to or connected to the internet. But first, some bad news. Do you have any Mac users here? Okay, so mine died last night. Took it out of my bag and it was just completely dead. It just wouldn't boot up. So that's why I'm using a PC today. I'm usually a Mac user, but the sort of okay thing is that I might get a new one. And the other thing is I didn't lose any data because everything is on Google Apps. So as log in from another workstation, I can carry on. Okay, so I come in on Monday morning, I need to sign into my documents. So instead of opening up a network share or opening up my documents, I'm going to open up a URL from where I can log into my document repository. So navigate to a URL, into my username and password, and as easy as that, I log in. Now, keep in mind I'm running over my CLC internet connection, so just give it a few seconds if anything happens.
No pressure on CLC.
So if you're using a web-based mail system that's accessible, it's running off the public internet. It does mean, however, if my password is lost or stolen, or if there's a camera hidden in the corner and it's capturing my keystrokes, or like something that happened to Baraka in a hotel in the US, there's a keylogger installed and somebody steals my credentials, it means that they have access to my account, correct? Well, yeah, it is correct, but not if you have two-step authentication enabled. So two-step authentication, you enable it, you sync it with a mobile device, so whether it's an iPhone, BlackBerry, Android device, doesn't matter. If it's the first time you're logging in from that workstation, it prompts you, says, hey, what's your second factor? And I have to open up this application and it will just generate a one-time PIN for me. So first time I'm logging in, I need to enter my one-time PIN. That's 6, 1, 2, 4, 1, 9. Right. So even if somebody gets hold of my username and password, they still can't log in because they don't have access to this. And the code changes every minute. If I don't have an iPhone or I don't have an Android device or a BlackBerry, I can receive the PIN via a telephone call or via an SMS, which you don't pay for. Right, so I'm logged into my document repository. So in here, I've got my Google Drive. Anyone here familiar with Google Drive? Seen it before? Okay. So Google Drive, I log in, and from a web interface I can see all my files. So I can log in from any workstation, sign in, and immediately I see a list of my files. If I want, from a workstation, I can install the Google Drive Sync application on my Windows or my Mac, and it will just synchronize my all my files between a local folder and my online repository. So from here, I can search for files, I can go to recent, and I can see recent documents that's been updated, recent documents that's been modified. And I think if we compare this to my documents, you'll agree this is a much more interactive interface. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you log in, you can see changes that other people have made to a file without having to connect to a file share. So I'm on the 33rd floor, and I would like Mike on the 2nd floor to gather some information from our regional offices about handset sales over the last few months. So, Mike.
Louis, I'd love to help you, especially on the top floor. It's pretty good for us to help you guys up there. What I normally do every month is I get a spreadsheet and I mail it out to the 200 branches, and I get them to populate the stuff. I've written a really cool macro that kind of pulls all the stuff together out the spreadsheets. And we compile information for management. It takes a few days, but let me have a look. Let me show you how to do it.
Are you telling me you're going to take a single spreadsheet, mail it out to multiple people and get them to populate it with information and then mail it back?
Of course. I mean, we used to use faxes. This is much better.
Okay. Okay. Mike, let me show you how we can do it in the future. You know that spreadsheet you mail out to 50 branches? Can you just mail it over to me, please.
Sure, no problem.
So you're still using the old interface as well. Okay, so while Mike is mailing that through to me, I'm going to click through to the mail component. So Google Apps, the cloud-based messaging and collaboration system, gives each and every user a mailbox in addition to all the other services. Most companies switch over to Google Apps in order to use the web mailbox, because that's sort of the easiest thing. Every single company out there needs to operate mail. They need to give their users the ability to send and receive mail. The Google interface, any Gmail users here? Few, yeah, okay. So this is a familiar interface to Gmail users, or I would hope so. Few key differences I want to point out that differentiates the enterprise version from the consumer Gmail service. First up, we're on your company domain name, so you're maintaining your identity. We're not switching all your employees to @gmail.com email addresses. After the demo, we're going to talk about how we actually move your data across, how we provision the accounts. Each user will get a 25 gig mailbox, which is slightly bigger than the standard.
Louis, that's amazing. I get 25 megs in my iPhone. 25 gigs.
So
What do you do with that?
So you keep all your mail instead of deleting it. You can sign in from a web browser. Within seconds, you have access to a full mailbox, and you can run a search across your 25 gigs. So you get a Google type search. On the left-hand side, we've got built-in instant messaging. So I can see who an organization is online at the moment. I can start a text message conversation with them. I can start a PC-to-PC voice conversation, a PC-to-PC video conversation. I can even start a voice call if my administrator allows me. So instant messaging straight from the browser, but we can look at that a bit later. For now, I'm going to open up this email from Michael. So, Michael, when you compose that mail, it didn't have your signature or any of the stuff, what
It's
happened?
these marketing guys, they got hold of my email. I really don't like it, this pretty stuff, but they say it's good for our brand, and it's a product that grows sales called Clear Format. But it puts all the details in and keeps our brand consistent, apparently. That's the marketing.
Hold on. You guys aren't using the Christmas trees and Santa Claus with the flashy lights anymore?
No, I try to put those in, but the Clear Format takes them out. Christine takes them out. It's terrible.
Right, okay. And the click-through rate?
It's like 2% or something.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well, okay. So I've got your email here. If I scroll down a little bit, I can see you've attached the Excel document to the email. I've got an option, I'll have an option when it's finished scanning for viruses, to download the document and open it in a desktop application. But I'm not always logged in from a workstation that's got the latest version of whatever application installed. So I have the ability to just click view. So within our department, 82.5% of our users are not content creators, they're just content consumers. So with this, I can give them the ability to view PDFs, Word, PowerPoint, Excel documents without having to have the desktop client installed. So I've converted the document into view. So within the web browser, still just the URL, it's rendered the information for me. So it's streaming the information. The same is true if you have a 10 meg PDF. When you click on it, view, it'll just render the first 5 pages. As you scroll down, it will carry on rendering. So you don't have to download the entire document if you're just going to open the first few pages. Viewing the information is fine, but we want to make changes to it. So I'm going to click the edit button. When you click the edit button, it converts the document from its current Excel format into Google format. Right, so within Google format, we have our spreadsheet and we can now work on it. So it's a spreadsheet, it runs within a web browser. So again, all you need is an internet connection and you can access your documents. As I make changes to the document, it will automatically save all the changes. So if I'm busy working and the laptop crashes, I can move back and log in from another PC, and maybe I'll lose a few seconds worth of work, but that's about the extent.
And Louis, how can I edit this document?
I'm going to save it as an Excel and mail it back to you.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Thanks.
joking. I'm going to use the big share button on the top right. So this is the powerful thing about Google Docs and collaboration. So instead of taking a copy of the document and mailing it to multiple people, I can simply configure sharing on this document. So I want to share this with Michael. Gal autocomplete. Barack, are you online? Come and Juan. Yeah, is that enough? And I can specify whether you can edit the document or only view it. And share and save. Yeah, I'm sure I want to share it with them. What it's going to do now, it's going to generate an email notification to go out to each email address and say a document has been shared with you. If you'd like to open it, click the link. If I now realize that I shared the company's payslips for the last year with the wrong Michael, I don't have to go recall message. I can just go back into sharing and remove the incorrect Michael's ability to open the document. So that's slightly easier.
Look,
So-
Louis, I've got an email here. What is this? Oh, but where's the document? I don't see anything attached. You said you were going to send an attached document.
Just told you, it's a link. Just click the link.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in my document on the right hand side, I can see that
Oh,
two
wow.
other people.
It's the same
opened it.
thing.
File's not locked by another user. So we color code it so we can see everyone on the document and we can populate our own information. We can type. Everyone can work on the document at the same time. So we can have up to 50 people in the same spreadsheet at the same time. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. As long as you're connected to the public internet, you can access your documents. Now hold on, before everyone starts messing up my documents, just go back. Any changes you made?
So I'm really going to see who's made what changes within there, and also maybe restrict those who can access specific cells within the spreadsheet.
Yeah, certainly. So that's a big concern, and also a big benefit. Everyone will always have the latest version of the document. You don't have multiple copies of the same document floating around in emails as attachment. Everyone, when they click on this link, they open up this document, the exact same version. But I just shared it with a bunch of guys, and because we're running a demo, they're just messing it up. So now I have to go to File. I need to look at the revision history of the document, and I can see that. Thanks, Barack. It's color coded. You can see who messed it up. And I'm just going to revert the document to the original version. So as time goes by, any changes that you make to the document will automatically be tracked in revision history, and at any time you can revert back to any previous version, plus it's color coded so you can see who made the changes.
Can anybody revert, or is there a document owner?
The document owner can revert. So you no longer have to worry about who deleted what section, and it's just a great way to gather information.
How long do you keep the history for?
Sorry?
History. How long do you keep it for? How far back? How many
From the beginning of time, from the date of creation until current date. So this particular document was converted from an Excel document. So before the conversion process, I don't have any data. But from that point onwards, it will track your revision history for you.
At the beginning of time?
Oh,
Thanks.
The only problem with this product is that people can't say anymore, oh no, I lost the spreadsheet. I can't get you that information.
so Barack has messed up my sheet a bit. So what I can do is go, okay, Barack, you know what? You can't edit it anymore. You can only view it from now on, and I'm going to save the changes. Yeah.
Do other users have to be Google users?
Excuse me?
Other users have to be Google users?
Okay, so when we set it up in your environment, we're going to talk about account provisioning in the next session. But for your internal users, they'll get their accounts that you as the system administrator or your company's system administrators maintain. If your administrator allows you to share data outside your organization, and you share a document with an email address that's not at your domain, if it's a Google account, the authentication will automatically be linked to that Google account. If that user does not have a Google account, they create one, which is free. And they can then use that Google account as authentication to get access. So you don't now have to go to your IT admin to create another VPN account to come in for some external party to get access to the document. So Michael, instead of emailing that spreadsheet out to all 50 people to populate information, do you think this might be a little bit easier, save some time?
This is really amazing. It's much better than faxing. But Louis, there's a problem with this. The guys in Durban, if they see the Cape Town guys' numbers, there's going to be drama because everybody knows everyone in Cape Town does no work. So, you know, the cat's going to be out the bag. So, is there a way we can, you know, not let everybody see the whole spreadsheet?
Maybe if you rephrase the question and leave Cape Town out of it, then. Mike?
Some of us are from Cape Town.
Exactly. I showed you how to use forms earlier.
Oh, yes. You showed me that forms thing. Oh, where is it again? Inbox.
Hey, and you've migrated to the web.
Yeah, I tried it out the other day. It's actually pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Oh, forms. And I remember. Oh, so you can create a form and then you can get people to fill it in and they can't see the rest of the detail. I remember now. Actually, I think I set one up the other night. Here it is. Okay, cool. So, so forms, you create questions, which are editable questions. You can add help text. So here's operating system. Where's of the phone? And then the way forms work is that you can then email this form. Some basic data validation you can do on the data. So, is it a required field? You can add drop downs, for example. Here's a drop down menu. So you can build some very basic capture forms where you can capture data. In this way you can email it out and everyone doesn't have to see what's in the spreadsheet. So let's give it a try. Let's email this form out. Oops. To Louis. Let's send it to Louis.
So at the moment you're going to email that form to me. Any other ways of distributing it?
Who else can I share it with? Barack, what's your email address?
Any Gmail users here?
Any Gmail users?
With active open Gmail accounts?
Cool.
Good.
Address?
Get to the farm.
Get to the farm. Next question, what are you doing here? I think we should get to the farm.
You might know what box first.
Get to the farm at gmail.com. Well, we're not going to ask you any more questions. Cool.
Get downtown.
Okay, so now what Google's done is emailed out a link to the documents. Do you want to try to open it in your iPad?
So if I go back to my inbox, I can see the mail is there, but it also popped in my mailbox over here on my tablet, which of course synchronizes everything. So if I show you on the tablet here, I'm going to choose Symbian. Time, 1, 2, 3. Market share, what's the Symbian market share? 47%. So what we're in the past. Devices shipped, so shipped 50,000. So if I enter my information, if I click submit, and yeah, I'm sure. There we go. And there we go.
That's amazing, much better than faxes. Get to the farm with you, submit something.
Who's from Cape Town? Did you get the marriage?
Okay, Michael, do you think forms might be an easier way to get information?
This is really great, Lily. This is great. Is there anything else you can do? I mean, how are we going to now collate this data and show it to management?
Well, what do you usually do?
Well, I run my macros, which took me about 3 months to write, and I collate it into Excel spreadsheets, and then we send it out every month with really nice graphs. The management love it. It looks great.
So you take your Excel documents, you create a few graphs, you put it in a PDF, and you mail it out.
Exactly.
How often do you do that?
Every month.
Once a month, only once a month.
Yes.
So how do you know in the middle of the month how you're doing so far?
Well, it takes a couple of days to do the whole process, so we can only do it once a month.
Okay, that's in the past. Let me show you how we can report on data in real time. So with this method, as people submit information to you, it goes to a spreadsheet immediately. You have access to it. You can share that data with whoever you want. But then importantly, and I think something that Google is quite good at sometimes is analyzing data, running analysis on data. So if we look at what we actually have, and I just pulled this off Wikipedia, so there's probably a bunch of mistakes in here. But we've got a row for every mobile phone or smartphone operating system, so Android, Apple, other Research in Motion, Symbian, Windows. For every quarter, the percentage of the market share plus the number of devices that they shipped during that quarter. So if I want to create a nice graph that we can insert into a PDF, I can go to insert and I can insert my chart or my graph. But something that's slightly nicer is if you insert one of my favorites, a motion chart. So a motion chart allows you to analyze data over a period of time, different attributes. So just going to insert that. And just to make it slightly bigger, I'm going to move the gadget to its own sheet. Right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So, has anyone here seen motion charts? It's a really cool way. The reason I'm starting from scratch is because I want to show you how easy it is to set it up, how easy it is to create it. So over here we've got the market share. On the left hand side we're going to see the percentage of the market share, 20%, 40%, 60%. Each dot will represent a different smartphone operating system, and if we compare it over a timeline we can have a race. So in 2007 who can guess who was at the who can guess who was at the bottom? So we had Symbian at the top in 2007 with 61%. Other contenders were other Windows phones and BlackBerry phones. So if we now play it back since 2007, you can see it's sort of running up and down a bit. It's it's relatively constant. Gap is getting narrower. Over here in 2010 is when things started changing. So all of a sudden there's a new contender. Where's the Barack? Not there. Android. Okay. So let's see what happened from 2010 up until the first quarter of this year. And we just carry on. And that's the end of quarter one this year. We've got Android with 56% of the market share, followed by Apple, and then the other guys at the bottom. So something like this, the reason I'm showing you this is simply because it's so easy just to go highlight my columns, I've got some info here, insert motion chart, okay, now play it back for me.
Louis, management is going to go crazy for this. Especially the colours, they love pretty colours. Louis, I've got to get a meeting set up with the guys down in Cape Town and Durban. I've got to set up a management conference meeting in the video conferencing room. Can you give me a second? I've got to go chat to Lucy to book that video conference room. Hold on a second.
Whoa. You mean only the execs get to use video conferencing?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Mike.
They're expensive.
Pause. Hangouts.
You showed me that thing the other day again. Sorry, really, I keep on forgetting these things. Where is it again? It's in Google Plus, isn't it?
Awesome.
One comment about this motion chart, which is really cool. This is tied to an active spreadsheet. You can keep on updating the spreadsheet, the motion chart will be updated as well. So you don't need to run it again or deploy again a motion chart in order to reflect data. So that's what we talk about, continuous analysis of your data. Instead of gathering data, collecting, analyzing it, on the contrary, you can do it once and then just enjoy it for the rest of your period of life. So that's what you asked, until the end of time. When you asked how long does the revision go, I wanted to shout till the end of time.
Can give to your children.
It's the end of this year, isn't it?
So let's start a hangout and share this amazing motion chart with our team.
Has anyone here used Hangouts?
Cool. Who's on Google Plus? Good.
Who uses it?
Okay, cool. So I'm starting a Hangout. Hangout is a video conference. So we're going to pull the management team in and show them this amazing motion chart. So let's invite some handsome people in our organization. Should be here. Who else? Jonathan. Where's Chad? Chad, you online?
Yeah.
Cool.
You can invite me if you want.
Louis, keep embarrassing me and telling me all these things, showing me all these things that I haven't, I forget.
But what if I'm not in front of a PC? How can I join this conference?
You can phone someone with the telephone. So if you want to pull someone into the hangout with the phone, you can use the phone thing. You told me this yesterday, Louis.
Not my other alias, please.
Oh, sorry. Cool, so I'm starting a hangout, inviting them to the hangout, and let's see what happens. So what Hangout is doing, it's going to send out invites to everyone, and then everyone has to click on the invite to accept.
So on my side, my instant messenger just pops up and saying I've been invited to Hangout. I can either ignore it or join it. So if I click on join,
Just turn this volume down to feedback.
it's important. Hi Michael.
Hey, Louis.
Should we invite Joan?
Yeah, why don't you invite him?
Sure. Okay, so we can have up to 10 people in a video conference. The person, we've muted our microphones, otherwise we get the feedback loop. We can have up to 10 people in a video conference. The person that's speaking, their face will be full screen.
Yes. Hello. Oh, it won't work because it's muted, sorry. I wanted to show my face down in the front,
Okay.
Join.
We've got another. Okay, I think it's muted, so you won't be able to hear us. That's fine. We're on it. No. Okay, and we've got Annette just joined. Let's give her a few seconds.
And please bear in mind, this is over MTN 3G connection, my phone, and Louis' cell C connection, so the bandwidth is really optimized for video.
The quality of the video will also adapt depending on your connection speed. So if you're on a faster connection, you'll get a bit better quality video. If you're on a slower connection, the quality will degrade so that you have at least decent voice quality.
So Louis, why don't you share that motion chart with the guys?
So we can also join a Hangout from a tablet or from your mobile phone, front-facing camera, internet connection is all you need, and you can join a video conference. So I want to share the motion chart, so I can simply click on screen share, and from here I can choose which window I would like to share with everyone else. So I'm going to share my selected window. I can click through to my market share and say, hey everyone, I've just analyzed mobile sales data and play it back on my screen, which is just broadcasted there. And keep in mind, we're not connected via LAN. There's only there's audio and a VGA cable going out there. We're both connecting to the public internet. Thanks, Annette. Too late. Okay.
Oh, Chad, are you on your Chad, are you on your tablet?
On the Chromebook.
Chromebook.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
You have to show the Google effects, come on.
Google effects. No, Chad can show the Google effects.
We have to show the Google effects. Google likes to take things on the lighter side. Anybody know what Google effects are? Come on, Louis, don't be shy. Do a Google effect.
Okay.
Come on, don't do that.
Okay. I'm going to leave this hangout before the effects take effect.
So you can add a wig to your head or anything, a big nose or anything if you want to make the video conference a little bit more exciting. That's what the Google effect is about. So it's just, yeah.
Big mustache.
You can put a mustache on or anything. But we'll leave it on because it's sake of time.
Barack, this is very serious.
I know,
presentation.
sorry.
Okay. So what did the executive in Cape Town have to say about our analysis of the data?
Well, they love it, and now they want us to present it to the big boss, but he doesn't use the computer that much, so we have to go down to Cape Town. Louis, can you show us how to set up a calendar invite?
Sure. So if you're moving to the cloud to run your mail, you would want your calendars and contacts to be managed in the cloud as well. So the way Google does it is not through a desktop application, but through a web application. So I open up my calendar interface. On here, again, it doesn't matter if I'm using my phone or my tablet or web interface or PC. Wherever I make a change, it will just be synced over the internet, and I can see all the details here. I can overlay any number of calendars, I can own any number of calendars, I can share individual calendars with individual users or with individual groups, plus the IT loaded all our resource calendars, so I can see when a boardroom, which of the boardroom is available or not. It allows you to create events, as you might imagine, see for busy information and invite others. Quick events is quite cool. I can type in something like lunch tomorrow or meeting next week Tuesday at whatever time with an email address at whatever address. So I just type in the text about my meeting, what I want to do, where I want to do it with who, and click add. The system then picks up, okay, hey, you said with Michael, so you probably want to send an invite. Do you want to send an invite or just edit it? No, that's fine. Let's send an invite to Michael. And for tomorrow, it'll just pop it there in the calendar for me. So another benefit is you probably, hopefully you know what your house looks like, but if you're going somewhere where you haven't been before, you can quickly go into Street View, a few clicks of the mouse, and you can see what an area or a building looks like before you go there. So you can familiarize yourself with the environment. So that's the building where we run our not the entire building, but in the same building we run our 24/7 support area. So if anyone's got any questions or queries, they can most people phone or mail in. They don't actually go there, but you're welcome. Just to prove that we are in fact in Cape Town, if I just do that, and that's the mountain that everyone's always talking about. Don't fly far from these guys. Okay, so from here, if I want directions, I can also just click the Get Directions box. If I'm on a smartphone, GPS-enabled device or a Wi-Fi connection, I can sort of pick up where I am and just use my current location, or I can just type in from mid-round, complete for me, and I can get my directions. So if you want to drive down for some app support, that's probably the easiest route you can take. If you feel like a scenic or a coastal route, you can just take the map, drag it down, and drop it in, and it'll just update the directions for you on the left. Once I'm happy, I can just print this out. So I struggle to configure the GPS on the road, so there's my printer. I can include a large map. And that's it.
Cool, Louis. And what about other documents? I mean, you showed us Excel, but what about Word and PowerPoint? You know, our organization doesn't just use Excel.
Why not?
Because we have other document types.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back to our documents. Document repository. So in the beginning we logged into Google Drive, we saw a list of the documents. So over here I have the ability to create a new word processing document, a presentation, presentation we used earlier, by the way, is this, and with all the documents that you create in Google format, you can collaborate on it, it will track your revision history, and you can share it with other users or groups of users. You can create edit spreadsheets, forms, drawings, you can create folder structure, so you can create a whole folder structure and then share a specific folder with a specific individual or with a group of users. But it also gives you the ability to upload. So I'm currently using 7 meg of my 5 gig location. My administrator can purchase, or the company can purchase additional space and assign it to you. But when you upload a document, you can specify whether the document should be converted to Google format or whether you want to retain its original format. So Mike, you can upload your Google or your Excel spreadsheet with little macros and retain the original format and simply use this as a enhanced, similar to Dropbox, but the difference is it's controlled by your environment, it's controlled by your system administrators. So if somebody leaves your information, they don't take company information away with them, it's associated with your domain. So before we meet the execs next week, let's have a quick look at mobile banking. It's the document that we need to work on. So if I want Mike to work on it, I need to email a copy of this to him. No? I'm going to share it. So just again, cool, Barack, so I can again just add in addresses. Specify they can edit it and click share. And same as with the spreadsheets, it will send out a mail notification to them saying they have access to this. So there we have our documents. I can go down, reading document, okay, Nokia Money, what's that? Anyone heard of Nokia Money? Need to find out more information about that. So I can just go to Tools, Research. Right, Nokia Money, Nokia Europe, Nokia Money is a suit. Okay, so I get some information there. I can preview the information. Okay, I'm happy with that. Just insert the link directly. So research directly from your document, and you can insert notes from the web results of that search. If I scroll down a bit more, this is a document where we need 10 people to work on this individual or on this specific document. Different people will have to update different sections. So I want Mike to research getting started for me. Is there an easier way to get started? Can we do it another way? Yeah. So we right click, add a comment. So social commenting in documents is great because I could just type in @ or plus Michael. Can we find an easier way? And if I click comment, it's going to shoot off an email to Michael saying this piece or this section, a bit of text has been highlighted, been commented. He can now scroll down to that bit. He can post a reply to that document or post a reply to my comment. We can have a conversation about a section in the document until it's resolved, and you just click resolve and it will get rid of the comment stream. Same as with the revision history. If you would like to refer back to it, you can go in and you can see the revision history of the document. So in the same way that Excel color-coded the cells, the same way it's color-coded here, and I can see the other users as they're working on the document. Okay. Mike?
Cool, Louis. But I've also just found out this other thing called Google Sites. So just to summarize, we've gone through a number of different Google online tools. There's the spreadsheets, there's the documents, and we've done the apps. And Google Sites is a great way to bring it all together. So kind of imagine your internet site where you want to store company information, or even for small businesses if you want to build your own website. Google provides Google Sites. And Sites is a way to pull all this information together so that it's all in one place and usable and accessible on your domain. So let me just open up Sites. So this is a website I've built in Google Sites. There's a number of templates you can choose, and this data is pulled in from the various sources. So here's that motion chart we did earlier.
So is that using the same data?
Yes, it's the same data. It's not cut and pasted. It's not an image. It's the same data, just referenced. We can link through the documents, and again, this is on our domain. So if you want to control access and rights and restrict access, you can do that on your domain.
So who will have access to this the site that you created?
Your domain administrator can allow access, or the person who creates the site can grant access to various pages and various information. Okay, so here's a document that we worked on earlier. It's embedded in the site. And yeah, you can use sites for a ton of other things, but this is general use case is intranets and for on-domain information.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
How would you go about moving an application from the service like the core to the banking system to the cloud? It's core banking system, so running sign-based database, sort of with the application sort of running on Unix, and it's got a fat client that runs on an NT client.
So just so everyone heard the question, how do you move complex applications into the cloud? It's not easy at this stage in cloud land. So Google does provide certain tools in that arsenal, and one of them is Google App Engine. So if you wanted to build an end-to-end application built on the same cloud infrastructure that Burak described earlier, you would use something like Google App Engine. So App Engine is exactly that. It's an application runtime environment where you can run Java or Python applications, and you would then build your application using web as your thick client, and you'd use the web as a thick.
Where it's already it's a vendor sort of product where, I mean, the sort of typical approach now is if you're running those sort of applications and then you're sort of moving an operation, setting up an operation into another app component of what we typically do is we run the fat client on Citrix, and we have an actual client running Citrix, and then accessing the GUI via Citrix sort of web. Is Google providing
So to answer to that, and Michael showing you exactly, so our platform offering, and not only Google, so Amazon has become very famous, and Microsoft in that space, it's called the platform as a service, right? Run your custom applications on our infrastructure and we'll just serve it to your end users. You can do it. The only challenge with your specific question is that you have an existing infrastructure that was built ideally for the client server with Sybase database. No public cloud provider currently that I know of, either Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, will able to tell you, yeah, you can dump your Sybase database with us and we'll host it for you. So I think that in your specific case, the answer is
other corporates as well.
Yeah, the answer is probably less ideal, but in terms of that, Google App Engine or any of those platform providers give you that exact ability that if you're developing your next generation application, you can or you will probably just write your code and don't care about the database backend systems, load balancing and all that. That will be taken by your cloud platform provider. You said it right, it's a challenge for existing, I think, and that's why I said in the beginning that our on-premise, I know that the world, and this is the cloud day, we're all saying cloud, but on-premise is here to stay, because there's a lot of things that will stay in the premise of the domain, like user management, like your core banking system. If you're, these are applications that have been developed over a period of 20, 30 years, and you know, it's like 10 years ago where everybody assumes that mainframe, IBM mainframe will vanish from the world, right? They're not, because these core banking. So I think that for your specific question, probably you don't have the ideal answer yet.
With Google Apps, there are also three major components you look at. It's the out-of-box functionality that you get with apps, so you get your mail, calendar, you get documents, all of that. And you might say, hey, you know what? Email with Google Apps, every single one of our users can use that to run their email. Documents, 80% users, not everyone. But those things are easy to move to the cloud. Those are typical first steps to move to the cloud. Other things, if you want a CRM system, which this clearly is not, there's the apps marketplace. So third-party companies or vendors will create an application on the App Engine or whether hosted on Google. You can then bolt it onto your out-of-box platform, your Google Apps platform, and then give specific users access to it. Then lastly is the Google App Engine, where you can go in and you can create your own application, run it, but you don't have to worry about servers or maintaining it, or you can use Cloud SQL, you can use their infrastructure, but you have to create your own application. Once you're done, you can start an App Engine.